Mic check, mic check, mic check. All right, I think we're good there. All right, let's see if we are live on the channel. Stream is starting. Let's see if we. All right. All right, guys. So this is actually my first live stream on this channel, and so I'm just checking things out here. All right, there we go. All right. Let me just check a couple things here real quick. But basically, what I want to start doing on my channel here, and this is really geared towards voice artists, voice talents, is I want to start just one is almost getting a discussion going about the voice industry, and I would say a new voice industry, especially for its I call us newbies, people because of the internet, the ability to afford equipment at home, to break into this industry, uh, basically as a voice artist. And so basically, I'm going to start doing some of these live streams. I'm basically going to share information I've learned over the last 9 months of doing this full time. And tonight's going to be just kind of like getting started in the industry, what that was like, and where I do work at, and maybe share some of the if people have questions about setup and things like that, all of that stuff. And I'll tell you right from the get go, I love doing this work as a voice talent, voice artist, whatever you call it. It brings out the artistic side of me. Where you have these challenges of doing these jobs. Get a certain sound, and when you achieve that, and you just achieve what the client's looking for, and it has that epic sound, it evokes the emotion they're looking for. That's just an awesome feeling, like you've done something. And not to mention all the clients you get to meet from around the world. It's just awesome. Um, so tonight I'm going to talk about getting started. So I would say it was about, I don't know, 9 months ago. Well, maybe a year ago, I had dabbled in like doing some voiceover stuff. Now, I wouldn't even call it that, but it was really informal. And I did it more just for fun, for one company. I guess I kind of knew the people. But I also, before that, I had a 20-year career in business where I did a lot of public speaking, as a keynote speaker, things like that. So I think that did help funnel into this, I guess, new career of being a voice talent, voice artist. And what happened is someone came from, went up to my wife at her job or something. I knew I was looking for something to do as far as finding my new special purpose. And they said, "Hey, has Bob ever thought about doing audiobooks?" And so my wife told me about the audiobooks. I never even thought about that and had no clue what I was doing. Like no clue. Didn't know how to set up anything. I had a microphone. I had a Blue Yeti Pro. Didn't know nothing, right? And I think I had Audacity, right, as a program, free program, which works great. And so I went online after I heard this. Okay, audiobooks. You actually can make money doing this. This is something I would like to do. I went online. I started looking for information, and I see this thing called ACX standards. Look. I'm thinking, okay, what is all this stuff? And that was it. I got hooked. I started just looking on, Google and everything, how to get started on an audiobook, how to do that. And I came across Upwork. Okay. I came across Upwork. And when I came across Upwork, this is basically we'll call them pay to play site. And basically, this is, I think, the new age of voice acting, voice talent is the average person like me, like you, if you want to do voice acting or doing it now, basically you could go to Upwork, you can go to Voice Bunny, you can go to voices.com, voices123, and you can make money doing this job to the point now where I'm doing so good, I do this full time. When you start to build up that clientele, you can do this. I mean, I did it. I'm going to tell you when I got started, what my setup was. It was crazy. So, went on Upwork. It's free. Okay, they give you these credits to bid on jobs, but my setup was this. Okay, and I'm not kidding you here. This is how I started out. Believe it or not, and actually got jobs. Okay, I had no booth like I'm in now. I eventually built this. No booth. I didn't have a Neumann TLM 103, what you're looking at right now. I didn't have Apollo Twin MK2. I didn't have, Adobe Audacity. Adobe Audition. I had none of that. Okay. I had a Blue Yeti Pro, which was decent mic, right? But nothing great. I would put blankets over my head, over the monitor where the script was, right? And I would sit under this blanket, and that's where I'd read the script. Believe it or not, I got jobs on Upwork just like that, okay? And let me tell you, if you're just getting into this and you're just starting out and you get your first gig, there is nothing more epic than when you get your first gig, even if it's for like $10, you know? That was my setup, okay? And it worked, right? So then what I did next is I just took some 2x4s in my basement and made like a little booth, like a telephone booth. I didn't frame it. I didn't wall it in. I went to the thrift stores and I put blankets all around this frame, basically. Put my Blue Yeti Pro in there, put a screen in there in front of me, stood up on a cement floor. I threw some blankets on the floor. I basically made a blanket booth, cheap old blankets, layered them in there. And what that's going to do for you is going to help deaden some of those echoes you're going to get if you don't do that. It's not going to keep the sound from coming into your area, so you got to try to find a quiet location or a time when it's fairly quiet. But it's going to help stop some of that echo that's going to come out from your voice, right? So I'd say this is phase 2. Blue Yeti Pro, same equipment, using Audacity, and kept getting gigs. Now, here's what I did too. So like on Upwork, right? On Upwork, it's upwork.com. You can look at it. You're competing against other people, other voice talents. Some that have a lot more experience than you. So going into it, I knew that. And I knew that to get going, you got to build up a clientele. You got to build up a reputation. And with any of these pay-to-play sites, you're going to get reviews. You do a job, they give you a review. On Upwork, it could be 5 stars, and they could leave a comment, right? And this all affects your rating, whether you're on Voice Bunny, whether you're on voices.com, all is going to affect your rating. And so obviously when clients come look at your profile, they're going to sort by like how are you rated, how well you're doing. And it's going to help you get to the top of that list when they're looking at 50 people who've submitted demos, right? So what I did going in is I really tried really hard. One is to do a good job on the demo recording, right? The other is go in low, okay? And at first that's hard, right? And you're basically going to lowball other people. So let's say they say the job is for $50, right? I would go in and say I'll do it for 10 or 20. And all you're doing there is just trying to get that gig to prove yourself. Get that gig, you do a good job, they give you 5 stars, hopefully. They give you a good review, you do a couple of those. Now, next time you go in instead of 50 or 10, and maybe you're going to do 30 this time, because now you've got some credibility. You're starting to work your way up because you're getting a reputation, right? So that's how I approached it on some of these sites, and has really worked well on Upwork. I mean, like really worked well. Voice Bunny, same kind of thing. Kind of rates I set were a little lower, but over time have increased those rates because you don't want to devalue your work. So what I mean by that is at some point you got to be careful where you don't charge not enough, because basically people, this is just one of these psychological things. It's kind of like if you go to a store or something and you see the tennis shoes, you got 6 pair of tennis shoes for sale there, and you got one that's for sale $10 and one that's for sale that's $300. We just can't help ourselves. We're going to think the ones for $300 have got to be the best ones. So at some point when you're doing this, you've got to raise your rates, as long as you've got already a reputation built, so that when people look and they're sorting, they're saying, man, this guy, he's got a little bit of reputation. He's got 5 stars. He's got a great rating, and he's charging, like $50 an hour. There must be something to him. Let's check out his demo. The other thing with that, what else I want to say about that? And I don't know if it's me that's watching the stream. I think there could be one person watching. If you're watching and you got any questions, you could put them in the chat and I will answer. I don't want to go too long on this first stream. We're at 9 minutes and 46 seconds. It's about getting started. Oh, the other thing is, too, is a good place is the audiobooks. If you can see some of those audiobooks, they're probably going to underpay you initially. I think the first audiobooks I did. All right, hold on a second, guys. I got to take this call. Hello? Hey, buddy, do you want to stay the night at Julian's? You sure? Okay, and do you need anything? Your toothbrush. I will bring it over there. Okay, do you need anything else? Okay, I'll bring your toothbrush, okay? Okay, love you. All right, bye. All right. Well, that's what you do when you're dad and have kids. Okay. So I got to deliver a toothbrush here shortly. So, where was I at? Let's see, where was I? I gotta remember. I'm getting old. It's hard to remember things. Okay, so equipment, you don't have to have the best equipment. Okay, that's the thing. The next thing I'll tell you this is when you're starting out, here's some good advice I've learned just through watching videos and consulting with people, is when you do the scripts, right, there is going to be a tendency, especially. Wait, was I even loud enough? Hold on here a second. When you do the scripts, right, there is going to be a tendency. I just realized I didn't even have my mic. Was I even loud enough? That's hilarious. Hold on here a second. When you do the scripts, right, there is going to be a tendency. All right, so I just realized I didn't have my mic all the way up. That's hilarious. 10 minutes of rambling, probably too low, but that's okay. When you get a script, right, this is what I'm going to tell you, is you're going to have the tendency to want to, especially if you have a good voice, right, you're going to want to sound good. It's all about sounding like a voice artist. That's what you're going to be into. So you wear these, let's say you wear headsets to monitor your voice. Now, when I started out, guys, I wore no headset. I actually think it helped me. I think it really helped me because here's what I learned. If you want to sound authentic, if you want to sound like you're bringing the script to life, and the secret sauce, the sauce you want to add is you want to sound authentic, you want to sound real, and you want to get the listener to feel the emotion that your client is trying to basically get them to react to the script, right? So if you have these on, and a lot of times I do scripts with these off because if I hear myself in here, which is fine, then I start thinking, oh, yeah, you're sounding good. Your voice is sounding, but I forget what the message is, the script. And the saying is, right, and I learned this from somebody else, is tell it, don't sell it. So basically, when you're reading the script, don't try to get them excited about it and get them, try to sell it to them. We have a tendency to just tell them about it, especially if you're doing for a video. Tell them about it and compliment the video that they are watching. You don't want to be the star of the video. You want to compliment what the video is showing them, okay, especially if you're doing for a video. So I'll take these off because then you can hear better the inflections in your voice. You don't hear your voice as far as over your stereo sound, and you're more likely to sound more natural, and you're going to have the pauses that should be there. The other thing is this. Think of this microphone as an ear, as a person's ear, right? And so when you're doing it, really be conscious of that, let's say they want it to sound conversational, right? And let's say it's something about, let's think of something here real quick. Conversational, you sound like a guy next door. Maybe it's, let's say I'm selling a new rake that's come out. They want to talk about a rake that's come out. I'm talking to a neighbor in their yard. Let's talk about it. When I talk to this mic, right, one of the issues with the headphone on, if I got the volume up, is I really don't know how loud I'm talking, right? I could be yelling, right? If I take the headset off, okay, let's take the headset off. I can really hear my voice on how loud it would be around somebody, right? Conversational. And let's say if I was just talking to somebody, I'd make something up here, right? I want to be talking to them like a normal voice, like, hey, John, hey, you heard about this rake? Yeah, I just got one the other day. It's got this brass handle, and the rake itself is it's steel. I mean, I know it sounds crazy, but I got this thing, and I've been out there raking my yard. normally our rakes, they always miss a leaf or two. This one doesn't miss anything. I mean, I'm getting all of this stuff, and I just love it. Yeah, I got it from down at Johnny's for like, I don't know, $3.99 or something. So check it out. It's awesome. So, all right. I just made all that up, right? But the point is, I want to feel like the guy, Johnny, or whoever my friend is, or whoever the listener is, not all thousands of listeners, one listener, if I was talking to one person. So if it's going to be conversational and intimate, picture that person right in front of you and you're talking to them in an intimate way. Even though thousands may listen to the video, it's the one person listening. That one ear is what you want to focus on, okay? All right, so guys, I'm at 15 minutes. I don't want to go too long here on my first one. So I'm going to go over some highlights with you, okay? I'm going to go over some highlights with you. The highlights are these. One, if you're interested in doing voice talent, doing voice work, I'm going to start doing these streams where basically I'm going to share what I know, which is not everything, but for the last 9 months, I've been doing this full time, and I have learned a ton about how to become successful on these various pay-to-play sites, Upwork, Voice Bunny, Voices.com, there's Voices123, of how to do that. And I'm going to share that with you. Get started, I had blankets over my head. It worked. Got me gigs. Go in low with your price and just to get those gigs and start building a reputation. Go online and just Google everything. From sound engineering to voice work, how to set up all these things, Google away, learn as much as you can. The other is when you get a job, man, then give 150% and do an amazing job on that. Over-communicate with a client. Make sure you understand what they're trying to convey with their script. And when you get that script, remember, what is the intent of the script? Is it to excite people? Is it to connect with them on an emotional and personal level? Really get a sense of what they're trying to achieve with that script. The other thing is when they're trying to convince something to buy something, be careful that towards the end of your sentences, you're not raising your voice, because what that starts to sound like is you're selling something to them. So, for example, hey, go down and buy that shovel. It's only $9.99. You hear that when you go up at the end? It sounds like you're a salesman, and they don't want normally the salesman sound. The new thing is, guys, the big thing is they want conversational, they want to sound real, authentic, and even though they're selling you something, they don't want the listener to think you're selling something. So I can do the same one. Hey, get that awesome shovel. Yeah, it's only $9.99. I still got a little tension in the voice. I'm still a little excited, but I'm not going over the top. The last thing is, guys, last couple things is, as you start to get some gigs, start to think about reinvesting in your setup. Building a sound booth, which I did on my own. I did it through Google. It works great. I've upgraded to a Neumann TLM 103, an Apollo Twin MK2. Use UAD plugins. I use now Adobe Audition. I used to use Audacity, which was fine. But when you get the time, start reinvesting your money back in your equipment. Even though it's tough, you will start to get more gigs because of the equipment you're using and the better sound you're going to achieve. What else? And then just go for it. Bid on everything. Go for as many jobs as you can. And when you get it, do an amazing job. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up here. It's been almost 20 minutes. I got to go deliver a toothbrush to my son. And I'm going to see how this goes. I think I'm going to do more of these. Hopefully I get enough people start to watch where they get engaged and other voice talents, and we can talk about doing voice work. Cheers, peace. Thank you so much, and keep driving on. Thank you.